Welcome back to my channel, My Fish and I. Today I'm going to give you 3 tips for beginners should know before they start this very journey of fish keeping. I'm assuming you watch 10,000 YouTube videos and you see the nitrogen cycling your tank, and you know all that. So I'm not going to be giving none of those tips because there's tons of YouTube videos in which you can refer to those things. So after you cycle your tank, this is where most people quit. They start the hobby and they wonder why they're gonna get an algae bloom and diatoms and all sort of stuff, and discourage them because their tank don't look crystal clear like the ones on YouTube. And it takes time, knowledge, and experience to get that way. But I'm gonna speed up the process and make it very easy for you in accomplishing these goals. Tip number 1, get plants. Live plants help with your tank. It helps with your filtration, help with your water quality, and it also helps making your fish keeping experience easy. Almost all my tanks I have live plants. Either I have aquarium plants or house plants that I put into my aquarium. For example, in this tank full of tropheus, it's fully planted. The more you plant the tank, the less work you're gonna do in the future. Trust me. Easy peasy. So, as you can see, that's a house plant. I put it in the filter. You can put it in the filter, you can run pothos in African cichlid tanks because you usually can't have aquarium plants in those tanks. Therefore, it's good to have pothos, and it helps filter that water. I have one tank that I never do water change. I just top up because it's so heavily planted with house plants. As you can see in my African cichlid tanks, I have pothos and the water is crystal clear, and it helps me do less water changes. That is tip number 1. Stay tuned in the video I'm going to give you a bonus tip. Tip number 2 is, please buy the biggest tank that you can afford. I know you want to start off with that 10 gallon, but trust me, that 10 gallon is going to be more work if you don't know what you're doing. Smaller tanks have less volume of water, therefore it's easier for it to get dirty. I have a 350 gallon, and that's actually one of my easiest tanks to take care of because such a large water volume, and I have it heavily stocked. But I have plants underneath. There's the pothos in the sump. I actually even have pothos on top strolling on my walls. And bigger tanks are easier to maintain. With smaller tanks, those are the tanks you really want to plant. If you plant smaller tanks, then that makes it very easy as well, right? Because then the plant do the work for you. So get the biggest tank then you can afford. Bigger is better. And you're gonna say you're gonna start off with a small tank, and eventually you're gonna get addicted and you're gonna upgrade to like 10 to 15 tanks like me. Third tip is, put 2 filters on every one of your tank. The reason to do this is, once you get the established bacteria in your tank, once you're cleaning one filter, you have that running, so you won't get destabilizing your water because the other's filter will carry. So I'll clean one filter 1 month, and then the previous month I clean the opposite filter, so that bacteria is getting stable, because the key to fish keeping is stability. So that's a good trick on keeping your stability in your tank, so you don't get those bacteria bloom, algae bloom disease. Your fish don't get that much stress. And the final tip I will give you is, please stop feeding your fish so much. Less is more. The more you feed, the more you gotta clean. I feed my fish once a day, every other day. The more you feed, I'm telling you, the more you gotta clean, because they eat, they gotta poo. And most people, fish come to the tank that always seem hungry. A happy fish is a hungry fish. Thank you.